what's up? VJ, the brother from the ancient mother. You are watching The Headspace, Africa's most poignant hip-hop podcast. And it's been a minute since we've spoken about another GOAT, another African great who has walked miles in order for hip-hop in the continent to traverse space and time. Now today I'm talking about a legend from the mother city, Cape Town, somebody who embodies the classical origins of the spirit of hip-hop. When I mean classical, for those who need the story told again, we flash back to the Bronx. It's a decrepit environment that is literally falling apart, and the youth of different ethnicities and different cultures band together using the vestiges of their cultures. We're talking people who are able to tap into their Jamaican roots, their Jewish roots, their Spanish roots, their Latin American roots, and most poignantly, their African roots, to decode a new reinvention. And it goes by the name of hip-hop. And it takes the world by storm simply because it takes bits of the past and breaks them into moments that become new. It uses the centerpiece called the DJ, who creates something called the block party, which is able to bring people together in rhythm and sound. And in this block party, the DJ takes songs that bring about the nostalgia of where people have traveled thus far, and takes the open spaces between those songs, the spaces where lyrics are not there, the spaces that are empty for a new voice to lay its foundation. And that becomes something known as the break. And they loop and break that part, and all of a sudden it beckons forth the voice of a new channel. People who are there to help the DJ balance this energy of rocking the party. This person becomes known as the MC. He masters the crowd. He's able to move the crowd. He's able to master his own channel. He's able to be the one, say he, oh God, I'm gendering it. They are able to be the focal point that now allows for what the DJ was doing through the sonic textures to translate itself through actual commentary. And the first hip-hop commentary, as the dancers are doing their thing, breaking, as the graffiti artists are illustrating the aesthetics of capitalism breaking down, the irony is the MC begins to chant, make money, money, make money, money, money. And I think at the center of that is a conflict that resonates in hip-hop till this day. Even with the commercial industry beginning to realize the potential of one aspect of hip-hop, rap, and literally inflating and blowing up its ego to the point where many feel rap is hip-hop, and turning this misguided synonym into the running joke of what we experience as hip-hop culture, when the rest of the elements have slowly been resuscitating themselves just by the strength of the people alone. As rap continues to become this gluttonous, huge, fat cat that pretends to give credence to the whole culture when it's just become a tool that capitalism uses to sell champagne, sneakers, and a whole bunch of different ideologies that just keep us deeply saturated into the same mechanisms. I'm talking about Emile YX. And why did I have to go through the narrative of the origins of hip-hop in order to get to our GOAT? South Africa is a country that is riddled with the mythical stories of the fight for revolution, falling into the embers of despair, and our heroes turning into the same villains that we were fighting in the first place. This is not something exclusive to this country. It's the navigating of Africa as a whole continent gosh, it might just be most of the world still trying to break free from the grips of whiteness, mainly weaponizing itself through capitalism. Emile YX, born in Grassy Park, Cape Town, falls in love with this culture that I spoke about earlier on, and is pretty much the embodiment of all of those elements. From the dancing to the graffiti to the MCing, he begins to collect his thoughts, galvanize his mind, and in an era where apartheid is thick in its smell and in the atmosphere, he begins to, with friends of course, hip-hop being this collective energy, break out into the scene, moved by the spirit of politicizing the revolution through hip-hop. Now it is this politics that has garnered Emile much acclaim in different parts of the world, being somebody who dedicates his life path to simply healing the hood, to focusing the message of hip-hop as empowerment right to those that need it in ways that make the most impact. Food, clothes, shelter. Saying that if we can use the way that we dance, if we can use the scratching, the turntablism, the music, the colliding of cultures and the memories of the black experience, interpolating with other oppressed peoples of the world in order for it to be a vanguard for real transformation, then this is what must be done. Emile YX, having named himself in the moniker of those who threw away last names that did not belong to them because they were vestiges of a slave past, gaining a sense of mastery over themselves by reinventing their own identity, becomes one of the pioneers of South African hip-hop in ways that still bring us back to hip-hop's fundamental roots of being something that we should use not only to empower ourselves but each other. Now I want to focus in on that because of rap, the empowering self part seems to be the only thing most people really care about. The most famous rappers in South Africa have no lack. And yet the irony is, it is the people that got them there. Casper Nyovest and any other South African rapper, it's not personal, use the aesthetics of struggle up until the success does not allow them to even relate to the struggle anymore. And I think we do not call out rappers enough for this trick of baiting people into using them as their mouthpieces when really they're still loyal to Pastor, to the man, to the system. And before you go at me on some VJ, you're being idealistic, capitalism is basically a divine omnipotent force which governs blackness and cripples it and alienates the black person and turns us into walking mummified zombies, making blackness death. And you're right, that is all right. But hip-hop is that glimmer of empowerment within this realm of death. It shows that even in death, even in the nothingness, there's an active potential where we become something by the sheer virtue that we believe that it is possible. So what is possible? Do we simply just want to become another Jay-Z, where we walk ourselves into the peak of the pyramid of whiteness as they use us to be nothing but mascots to reel in our own people using our imagery and aesthetic, but we regurgitate nothing but the same chains back at them? Emile says no. He radicalizes socialism within hip-hop. He infuses the energy of a public enemy, the energy of an immortal technique, the energy of a poor righteous teachers, and every other act that has been very overt about being rap, being hip-hop, being graffiti, being DJing in an anti-capitalist way. And so I think this is the current engagement all hip-hoppers need to be having. What kind of hip-hopper are you? Because we're all navigating within capitalism, but we don't all have to be loyal to it. Remember the rapper said, make money, money, make money, money, money. And that's what we're all trying to do. There is no revolution without a sense of investing, building, the stability to be able to give back? Where are you going to be able to buy the resources to get the land, to get the food, to be able to give back, to give to self and to the other? The money needs to be made. But the most important question I argue in hip-hop today is, what are we doing with our money? Where is it going? Is our money going back into the system that recreates the same damage that allowed us to scream in the first place? Or are we supposed to follow pioneers like Emile and try to become personal revolutionaries who use the influence that we have to extract ourselves from popular culture and return the power back to the people? And to throw away the chains and convert the currency of a Louis Vuitton bag into a feeding scheme. To convert the currency of a Balenciaga sneaker into housing that's quality and proper for the people. This is what Emile YX is doing through many projects. This is what Black Noise represented as a movement, through the dance, through the rapping. This is what each and everything he's done, down to the literature, his book, Reconnecting the String, of weaving the mythology of hip-hop in ways that truly empower transformatively. And this conversation of what we do with the wealth that we have is what Emile as a GOAT represents. Hip-hop activism, what is it? What does it look like? And we see through him that it looks like remaining established in your roots. Using a model that is ecological and holistic rather than linear and hierarchical. It's not about building your way to the top. It's about expanding your influence like a web in different aspects. It's the fracturing of the power into all the spaces that need it. It's collectivizing and using influential agencies of truth. When I say truth, I don't mean any kind of idealized absolute vision. I'm simply saying people who are willing to sacrifice their time and their spaces to empower the less fortunate. And when I say empower, this is not just giving back in terms of the tangible things like food, clothing, shelter. Also, it's knowledge. It's engaging on who we are, where we are as a people right now. And identity forms a core part of what Emile does, belonging to a South Africa that defines him as colored, where that is sometimes black but sometimes not. Where till this day, to sign a form anywhere in South Africa is to tick between 3 boxes: white, African, or colored. And so these interesting political confluences and confusions that are created by the same oppressive system now being ruled and governed by people who look like the majority is something that Emile YX uses to again remind us that the struggle isn't over and that the revolution for evolution continues to expand. So in this episode, I want to honor that spirit by investigating at this, by looking at how MCs in the limelight, MCs who are thoroughly capitalists, what they can learn from an Emile, if anything. Or is hip-hop at odds with itself? Has rap music strayed so far from the roots of hip-hop's community-oriented message that it is nothing but a self-aggrandizing tool where men, even black men, can become the greater figure of whiteness? Are we simply here to rap and to dance for the man? Or is there something deeper that we can navigate within this journey of hip-hop? So I think the story of Emile YX says, on one side, hip-hop can be socialist, while rap music, in many of its dominant popular guises, says on the other, Rap seems to be pushing the message that hip-hop is capitalist. What is it? Are we doomed to simply make money in order for us to sink deeper into more and more commercialization? Or can we use the same bag to empower ourselves in very meaningful ways, where the only important thing is sustenance? And I think the question mark is the story of Emile YX. He throws this back at us through his active lifestyle, through the things that he continues to do, through the narrative of hip-hop as empowerment. Now, empowerment is a vague concept because we are all informed by different ways that give us different understandings of what power truly is. But I want to say, is power something where the energy you are giving empowers a community alongside yourself in order for sustainability and balance? Or is it about growing and getting it all? Because in getting it all, remember, there is never enough. So ultimately, the question that Emile throws at us is, can you live with a life where you have enough? Or is it about not having enough? Do you continue desiring up until desire becomes the actual point of your life? Is that where hip-hop is? Is that where rap music through the tropes is leading us? This endless loop of desire? I think the story of Emile makes us ask that question. So I want to give thanks to the Godfather, to the elders before us, for the story, for the impact, for the continual growth. Maybe growth isn't the word, because maybe growth lends itself to that perpetual desire. Maybe the word is the yearning for sustenance. I don't know. What I do know is we need to give thanks to Emile. We need to give thanks to hip-hop. We need to give thanks to the soil of Cape Town for sprouting out the seed that would later become South Africa's phenomenal hip-hop rebellion. My name is VJ, the brother from the ancient mother. Are you going to be desiring forever and ever? Or is there come a point where you realize, when is enough enough? That's the question. Peace.
There's a created perception that hip-hop is only one thing, that hip-hop is negative. When in truth, hip-hop is all emotions and all feelings. Well, my name is Emile Jansen, and I'm part of the organization called Heal the Wood Project. Heal the Wood is a NPO that's based out in Grassy Park in Cape Town. I come from a teaching background. Heal the Wood's intention is to redress the balance, because at the moment it's laying in the negative stories being told about the Cape Flats and about hip-hop. And so we try and supply voices for young people from the Cape Flats. The classes we give is divided into dance, writing, and then there's also art.